What's up, guys? I'm Jake Speedy, and this is my 2003 Nissan 350z. So what's up? This is my 2003 Nissan 350z. It's got the 6-speed manual transmission, and just like all the other 03 to 05 versions, it's got the 3.5 liter V6 D engine. Basically, I'm just going to be going over the car. I'll show you guys what I've done to it, and then later on I'm going to talk about pros and cons of owning this car, so you guys can kind of, if you're looking to get one, you can base your opinion off of my experience and see if it's the right car for you. So what I've done to this car, just cosmetically, I have the G35 19-inch forged array wheels, powder coated white. I've got a black eBay lip on the front bumper. I like the look of these. It makes it look a lot more aggressive. I also have the little headlight eyelids. On the back, I've got a Megan Racing single exit exhaust. Other than that, just small things like shift knob, other small details. That's about all I have going on cosmetically. So yeah, and then I also have under the hood, I have a cold air intake, and then like I said, the exhaust. So that's about all I've got done to the car. So I've owned this car for around a year now. It's at 140,000 miles, so it's definitely up there for one of these cars, and it's still been holding up surprisingly well for how long I've had it. I've had to do minimal maintenance, just like regular oil changes, nothing big really. I did have to fix the fuel pump a few months after owning it. It went out and it just stopped. It started having trouble starting and stuff, but that was an easy fix. It only took me like $80 and an hour worth of time. But other than that, I really haven't had to do much to it. So I guess I'll just be talking about like the pros and cons now that I've had with this car over the past year of owning it. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the cons, and some of y'all may have heard some of these, but a big con is the third and fifth gear grinds. My car, since it's an 03 and has quite a few miles on it, it does grind in the third gear, which is kind of annoying. I can still get around it by slowly shifting in the third, and it doesn't grind at all. Haven't grinded it in months, but if I try to race it or something and shift real fast in the third, it'll grind up pretty hard and sounds really nasty. It's probably horrible for the car. Another problem, I haven't had this issue, but I hear a lot of other people do, is oil consumption. Some of these cars, especially the 05 and 06s, they burn oil like crazy. I have a friend with a Infiniti G35, and it burns oil like insane. Like I think he had to put a cord in it like after only a week. So it's like, it's pretty bad. But just make sure if you're looking to buy one, ask the previous owner how much oil it burns. Double check that. And then also with the transmission, if you do get a manual, test drive it, or have someone else that knows how to drive a manual test drive it and make sure it doesn't grind. I kind of got slightly scammed getting this one. I got it without test driving it because I didn't know how to drive a manual. The guy, he didn't tell me or like show me that it grinded in the third, so I didn't know that until after learning to drive it, which was kind of a bummer. But it's not the worst thing in the world. Okay, so another con with this car, it just has a lot of small issues. Like, it's nothing big, but like window motors going out, the interior kind of gets scratched up somewhat easily. Not huge issues, but yeah, it's just small cosmetic things. And the window motor wasn't really that bad. I already replaced one of mine. It was $50 to replace the passenger window motor. It took me about 3 hours. Wasn't like a huge deal. Pretty easy to do. Alright, so pros of this car, just right off the bat, is the price point. I got this car for $6,200, which is a relatively good price considering the horsepower, around like 287 horsepower, I believe, for the 2003. So I mean, for $6,000, that's pretty dang good. You can get them even cheaper than that too, depending on the condition and mileage. So good price point. Another thing is just how the car looks. Like, it's got a really sporty and like pretty aggressive look going on to it. I get a lot of compliments on the car all the time, which is pretty nice. I've even had people ask me if I'm rich, even though like they think this car costs way more than it really does. So that's kind of funny. But Interior also looks pretty cool in my opinion. It's got like the sporty little gauges, oil, speed, battery voltage, all that. It's got the cool sporty looking seats that wrap around you and stuff, so you're not doing the cha-cha slide down the road. Okay, anyways. Um, Other pros to this car, it's just really fun to drive. Like, it handles really well, especially driving down the back roads. Like, even just getting over here, I mean, it's just really enjoyable. Another thing, some people absolutely hate it, but the sound this car makes, I really like it. Some people just make fun of it and say it sounds like a trumpet, which, I mean, it kind of does. But I mean, hey, if you're in band, this is like the go-to car for you. Also, this car is relatively easy to maintain. So like I was saying earlier, the only things I've had to really do to this car since owning it is swap out the fuel pump and then the window motor, so it was pretty cheap. I also have to change out the belts on it pretty soon. I already ordered them. They weren't that expensive either. So I'm going to be getting that done like probably later this week or next week. But yeah, all pretty cheap stuff, and for a car with this mileage, like, you know, no big issues, you know, pretty cheap to maintain. So that's about all like I have for like the pros and cons. I mean, I'm sure there's a few that I probably missed, but when it comes down to buying this car, like, would I recommend it? I would recommend this car if you're looking for like a unique, like decent performing sports car, like in the under $10,000 price range. You know, just if you are looking to get one, watch out for the stuff like the transmission issues and the earlier models, and oil consumption. That's the two big things looking at these cars. If you are looking to get one, if you have a little bit more money, I'd recommend you get one of the 07 to 08 HR models. They're a little faster and more reliable. They have a different transmission in them compared to these that are way less likely to have grinding issues. So, I mean, overall, I really enjoy this car, and I feel like if y'all are looking to get one, you'll enjoy it too. So that's going to wrap up my overview of my 2003 Nissan 350Z, and thanks for watching.